And we're live on a thirsty Thursday and some better energy. Well, so we start digging up the bones. Give a dog a bone. I am the hostess with the mostest, the High Priestess Phoenix. Whew, breathe. I am your spiritual healer, teacher, shaman, seer, oracle, lightworker, starseed, earth angel, mystic, medium, psychic, witch, yogi, guru, evangelist, North American Sybil. Ty is still up here. I totally was. I am your messenger of God. I am the first child of God. I am the LILITH reincarnated. And we had to go live. I was already going to do it, but I had to do it immediately after this one. It was too many synchronicities. What happened? The boys in the hood are always hard. That's what happened. Let me give you a view of some shit. Okay, that was the card we ended with in my last video. Okay, I don't know. Go catch my last video. We're moving on and up. Hold on. I'm really heated. What happened? Well, all of my spirit guides have flooded me all day. All of them? All of them. And as I was coming up the elevator, I'm listening to Eazy, and I'm just, you know, I had told you guys, like, when he came in, I'm like, where'd you come from? And you realize they were always there, right? Anyway, so it's like a player's holiday going on where I'm out of the dark night of the soul and I'm in the spirit realm with all the spirits, and it's great. And as I was coming up the elevator, I'm like listening to him, and I look down and there's a lady, she's crushed up against me. There's a lot of people in the elevator. And I see Michael Jackson is her screen cover. And I lift my ear, I said, is that Michael Jackson? She said, yes. I said, I talk to dead people, and I talk to him all the time. He's alive. And she pulls down her shirt just a little bit, and on her heart, it's a heart, it says, I love MJ. Oh, he lives on. And that's where I lost it. I was like, they had all already came to me all day when I was out in Mother Nature. And that's where it is. Where do you connect with the spirits? You go where the spirits live, outside of matrix of your mind. What you witnessed yesterday was me stuck in the mind. And then, oh yeah, I posted that. You are such a wiener. This guy wants to challenge me, and it's not going to end well. He's going to get his feelings hurt. I deal with feelings. I know how to incite them. I'm trying to alchemize them and teach you not to be powerless to your feelings. If I was to pick on you, then I'm no better than a freaking, you know what I mean, a dark practitioner messing with your feelings. So I'm not doing that, but in the sense of he's trying to challenge my authority. So he came out and he was like, I did this intensive readings. I haven't done one of those in a long time. But I mean, it was real life time because it really happened in my life. And I go through this whole teaching in the last 24 hours of the workings of the mind. And this dude want to come out talking about, I'm feeling philosophical, ask me anything. Yeah, let's ask you how your mind works. Ego, Igor, Oscar, the tarot reader, fucking Wolfman. You know what it is? I know what it is, because I'm a twin flame and I know what it is. It's your masculinity flaring up like a fucking hemorrhoid, and you're out here looking like an asshole. You're not my first twin flame. I've seen this in action. I expected more from you, in the sense of it's going to get worse. I told everyone to watch out for me as this guy goes off on me. He's about to go off. I mean, is that the best you got, Knight of Wands? Anyways, going into it, we're leaving the context of the mind now, and we're going back into the spiritual realm. I am the High Priestess. You are a tarot reader. Know your place, mofo. So, anyways, I was thinking they all came up, and, you know, it's just a high five. It's just like when you come out of places, you know, the spirit world is ever existent. And there was a question that needed to be told. What was it? How often do you see signs of POC in the real world that we live in? I just want to point out he's been dead for like, I don't know, like 20-something years. He's been dead for like a long time. How often do you see him, visions of him, or you see him being played out in this real world? That's what it means about the spirit lives on, right? How often do they speak of Kobe? Now, it's not about the words. Let me ask you a different question. How often do you see somebody in a thug life energy, where they're thugging it out? They're streetwise, they're, you know, to live and die. No, not right now. See, a million eyes looking hard, but won't realize that they will never see the P. He's right in front of you. He makes himself known in your real reality, that he is with you. Here comes Michael Jackson. 'Cause you are not alone. There's a perfect example too. How often is Michael Jackson's spirit poured over us in time and space? Are they just memories? They're just their works, and when they're in their works, we live in memories? Or does that spirit overcome us when we turn on their music and we think of them? How many people have a Mamba mentality, a mindset like Kobe, where he mastered himself and his mind, and he taught others how to master themselves and their mind? As I see that fucking video of Pac. He's pointing at his head. He's like, that makes sense. That makes sense. Calm down there, boy. Calm down. These guys. For real? Yeah, I spent all day with these guys. Talking shit. In the sense of fucking Pac. And he's low vibrational. We're working together to work on these low vibrational ways that we have. And that's where it is. It's like, you know, you can always tell I'm in some low vibrational shit when I'm hanging out with Pac. And, you know, that's my... my angel of darkness that's there to encourage the bullshit. You're not helping. Stop making jokes about shit. It's not funny. It's being serious. I know, it's serious. And then he's laughing about everything. That's that fucking Joker in the fucking... all the dirty jokes. You're not helping. And I posted that earlier. If my Holy Spirit, which is him and them and they, were not funny, then they'd be absolutely useless. The shit... You're not helping. I say that all the time. You're not helping. You're insensitive to feelings. Do you know why the Holy Spirits do not care about your feelings? Because they don't feel. The feelers come with the body. The body is the feelers. You feel everything through the body. If you get out of your feelings, out of your body, you're out of your feelings. But where do these feelings come from in the body? Your stupid ass mind. That's what it means to be the unity of mind, body, and spirit. My mind's telling me no, but my body. And what's your spirit say? I don't know which one I should go with. My mind is very logical and it's telling me no. My body really wants to go, and I gotta make this decision. And then you see me in these weird videos praying to Jesus Christ. What? I don't know. I'm always Nope, I did not disconnect from the world. There you go. Anyways, so we're going to go into the spiritual world now, and that we have left the fucking context of the big fat brain. And then I realized that too. I posted that. Oh, man. I had a moment on that mountain, bro. First off, it was hot. It was like the hottest day in Colorado, bro. I pulled in some clouds, so there was a breeze. But God wanted me to get a suntan on my flabby white body that I don't show nobody. Really? Yeah, bro. Seriously. Had to take my shirt off to wipe my sweat. So now I'm showing my fucking stretch marks, my fucking my tiger stripes for being a mama bear that I've been hiding my whole fucking life. And I got these little shorts on that are showing my flabby thighs, these thunder thighs that God gave me that I'm trying to put away. And I'm just like, I'm boiling from the inside from my experiences, right? I am the fire. That's that Hulk moment. I'm smoldering. You're like a little fire. I'm like the real fire. Take it easy, fire sign, you little Aries. You don't know what it means to be a Sagittarius. Stay in your fucking lane, little guy. Figure out your identity. You're not ready for adventure and optimism. You haven't figured out who you are yet. Anyways, I'm smoldering from inside, and I start climbing this mountain with nothing more than one Coca-Cola, one cup of tea, and one weenie water that I'm carrying up there, and all of that starts to boil in my belly, and I start feeling kind of really nauseous as I'm climbing this mountain. Like, oh, I don't feel so good. And I had this Forrest Gump moment. I was like, I think I'll go home now. Then the Holy Spirit, that's what I mean. They're just making jokes, fucking making fun of me and my experiences all the time. And I'm like, you know, I know you think it's funny, but I feel some type of way. And they're like, work on your feelings. That's all it is. They're so insensitive because where they are, they don't feel. They feel nothing but joy. They don't feel pain. They don't feel hungry. They don't need or want nothing. They just operate in the place of love and light in some cases. Deviousness. Pac encouraging me to be a bitch because he be on some bitch ass shit is just Pac. Like being a bully and tearing people up with my words. That's pretty much, that's why Marshall loves me. You know, that's, everybody can identify with that side. You're not helping. Okay, what'd you say? You called them bumper stickers on the back of these dudes' back? Ha ha! That was very helpful. And then there's those moments where his creativity leaks in, and it's a little absurd, but still very worth his 2 cents, because you can make $1 million off the shit he'd be talking. And in the context, I'd rather sit down in this fairy tale land of them talking to me than listening to my brain tell me the things that are going wrong in life and how I can never have what I want in my life. Right? Right. So anyways, I'm climbing this fucking mountain looking for answers. I got my bag. I'm ready to burn out some weed. I'm like ready to do the thing. And then I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to be sick. So I just sit there. And it's just kind of like I'm sunburnt. The sun's been cooking me. I'm like, it just kind of hit me what I'd been through. And that's the truth, the bird's eye view. You know what I mean? And the bird's eye view is the pattern. What was the bigger picture of what that was? I saw what I did. I mean, there's a lot of pieces, and that's what they call the macro to the micro to the macro. All these pieces equal something pretty big. If you put them all together, it becomes a picture. All these, random puzzle pieces, they call them synchronicities. So you put all this experience together, and you come to a final, you have to close this file. And you have to close it with something good. Tell a good story. Let the story be done. And so I'm like trying to close the chapter of yesterday because tomorrow is game day. Fucking Kobe. I'll explain that relationship in just a minute. But as I'm sitting there, it's like the bigger picture of what happened yesterday was, yeah, I had to face my fears. I really did. But what I was looking at was the pattern, the unhealedness of what happened. And that's your reaction to when you're faced with adversity. And there's Kobe, the definition of it, how you act. He never persecutes me for what I do. He just sits there with me and helps me evaluate what I could do better. Because this will come again. If you didn't master it, and you were like, wow, I can't believe I handled it like that. I've never been able to handle shit like that. Until you get to that moment, you still have work to do. And so, obviously, in that moment, I'm like feeling like there's like so much work to do. I have so many fears and so many blockages standing in front of me. But what I realize also as I'm sitting on that mountain is it's not real. My mind got panicked, right? This is what happened. I'm trying to invest into a possible relationship. And my mind starts thinking about what tries to create this context of what this relationship could look like. But it sees all the things that are standing in the way. And it gets overloaded. So then I get to a place where I become 21 questions and start investigating, pushing the other person for answers to reassure me that the past will not repeat. Is what I saw the pattern do. And even though I'm getting I'm asking questions I'm asking for impossible answers because there's no way. There's no way to know what that, these are invisible barriers in your head, and they're actually just fears of the past. So I realized that, and it's like, why did that happen? And I realized, I'm in my thoughts when it comes to dealing with people. I have to deal with people through my mind. And my mind gets in the way of me trying to deal with them. It puts in, again, the 2 cents. It's programming. It puts in its idea of what this is and what this looks like. And so, if you go back to the very beginning when this person contacted me, I'm like, why? What do you want from me? In the essence, I'm trying to figure out what they want so I can avoid any heartache. Alright? And then they just want to talk and see what I want and how I'm doing. And, where I'm standing. And I'm like, well, I'm still standing in the same bullshit. I'm standing on the fact that I want to get married and have kids. And this and that. You're still in that bullshit? Yeah, I'm still standing there. Waiting for that day to come. In the essence, more or less. So then, all of a sudden, it's like, okay, but look. You gotta work on things here. It's literally pretty much what I was told. And then I'm like, you know, you wake up in the beginning of the morning, and I'm told about myself, and I have to work on some things. I realized these things are standing in, you know, their way. So I'm looking for confirmation that you're not going to be what you think I am. And I realized that, and you have to catch yesterday's bullshit-ass video about it. And what it is it's like, I'm trying to work this through my mind, logically. I'm trying to be logical. You know what I mean? And again, it's really so simplistic as those words. My mind's telling me no, but my heart's telling me yes. And I get stuck in the thoughts of the no, but still have the feeling of yes. The thoughts of no are not you. I am afraid of the past when I try to see a future with you. And I'm kind of cornering you with questions. And I've seen this in a pattern. It's not one person, it's a pattern. I'm saying I corner them with questions of reassurance. I need confirmation that you're not about to do what the last guy did. And what they all do is the same thing. I push them away by trying to make them paint this picture for me. Trying to tell me that it is possible and showing me that it's possible. You can't show me, can't force time and paint this, you know, picture in my head. I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to get this vision in my head of what that could look like, right? But all I see are past relationships. Right? So that's stuck in the mind there. And I realized that as I'm at the top of the hill. It's like I'm always going to be in my mind about this. My mind is always going to turn on and panic these things. Simplistic, and that's what it was. It's like, if I didn't do this with you, which I've done with everyone else, if I didn't face this with you, I'm going to face it with the next one and whoever else. I'm facing this with you. And that's where I'm faced with this shit. It's like, I was going to have to face this anyways. As soon as I got close, this was going to happen. It's a pattern. Right? So if you come at me, I'm going to think about, can this work? How is this going to work? Can I see this working? The whole time, my self-defense mechanism is looking for reasons, or looking for a way out, because I'm too afraid of it to begin with. And it's got you under the microscope while it's trying to come up with the variables if it's possible. And so it's like questioning the other person. I'm watching this. This is what comes out. I mean, did I go through the message? No, I sat in my body while all of this was happening. And then I came out of it and looked at the bigger picture of what I was doing. You know what I mean? I could see myself, and where was my mind? When I was in it, I was in the thoughts. But now that I'm not in it, where were you, you know what I mean? Where were you coming from all of this shit? From a hurt place, obviously. And then I saw this sense of like rust. It's like I was looking for confirmation, reassurance, constant confirmation and reassurance that this isn't going to be bad. In essence, I'm asking you to figure out variables to equations that are only in my head. Really? Pretty much. The whole battle was in my mind. And I'm asking someone else to, you know what I mean? What they think. They're not thinking about any of this, and this is getting scary. It's basically the conversation. I'm looking back at it, and I'm like, oh, man. So then when I come to the gist of it, I was like, all right, this is going to be an ongoing battle. Obviously. Every time I try to get close, my mind's going to turn on with all these fears and memories and try to hold me back. And I'm going to have to just keep processing this in whatever way it comes out to get to the bottom of it, to keep, you know, maintain a connection. Is really kind of what I was looking at. And that's it too. It's like, you know, you never know how you're going to act until you're put in the game. And that's where it's like, I'm not ready to pretend to, I'm not ready. It's like, what do you mean? You've been working on it all this time. Well, clearly, they thought I was ready for something, and it is. It's like, I was ready to face this. And they said there's more to come. Like Kobe said, fucking game 3. Where did that come from? I don't know. I just came out last night. I was like, what is this? Finals? And I was like, how many games are in finals? And where does the Kobe come in? That it's all training. It's a spiritual boot camp. He taught me that in the beginning. It's between him and, you know, that's who else came in today. As soon as I got to Red Rocks, as soon as I turned the corner on Red Rocks, you gotta turn the corner, drop your fucking speed, 25 miles an hour. As soon as I turned it on, there's fucking Nipsey grinding on my life. And that's what it is. It's like you have to understand that this is the process. And you have to continue this process. And it doesn't end. You only get better at it. Kobe teaches that. Fucking Nipsey reaffirms that. Pac pushes you through it. And Michael Jackson sends love and inspiration to your heart the whole time. Keeping your, you know what I mean, your spirits high while you're getting your ass spiritually kicked. This is my spiritual team. I have absolutely no idea what spirits are pushing you. But just because I'm the one that sees and works with them doesn't mean you can't. I'm not denying you that, and you can see and talk to Jesus probably better than me if you felt more comfortable and could really resonate in that heart space with him like that. Right? I go to him when I'm angry or curious. I don't just hang out with Jesus. I don't just be in that kind of vibe all the time. But it's like, you know, you can have a relationship with any spirit or deity. Now, on that note, we're going to dig into some necromancy books, I guess. What do we got here? Communicating with the community. What does it say? I don't know. I got some spirit books. I got lots of shit on that shit. How'd you get in touch with the spirit? I left the context of my mind. So it means you're not stuck in your mind. You're part of the, you know, your spirit again. And sometimes you have to literally free your spirit and go get fried in the woods. That's what God did. Why did he take Jesus to the fucking woods? Why did he always take us outside to play on such a hot day? Because he's lighting us up and cleaning us out. He's putting the seed back in the ground and watering it and letting it grow again. You know, and that's the death. You know, when someone dies, you put them to rest in the ground. And they are born again. From the ashes they rise. I feel pretty burnt out. Alright, you and all your great fucking words and verbs. I'm just trying to teach them how to talk to dead people. That's pretty much where this all started. Really? I mean, a lot was going on. As I was working through my mind, I met them. As I started working through my mind, I met my spirit guides. I met the spirits. These ones, I mean, I didn't know exactly who the archangels and the ascending masters are that I work with now that were guiding me. They were very present, and I would just say they. And I also knew there was beings, alien beings, and I don't know if you guys caught that, but we have a teaching about Orion. I don't even want to get into that. That's like a whole galactic war out there. That whole thing. What the fuck is that? I didn't even want to speak on that. We don't speak on Orion's belt. We can get whooped by that shit. Yeah, that's some dark-ass energy out there on top of us. We're not going to talk about that right now. We're talking about the spirit world. In the tree of life, there's earth, and then there's the angels, then there's the archangels, and then there's the virtues, the principalities, the dominions, the cherubim, the thrones, the seraphim. Did I miss something? They're telling me I did. Who cares? I don't care. Sorry, I'm just like, whatever. They're like, no, you missed one. I don't care. Go ask Jewish rabbi. Anyways, in the tree of life, the serpent lives in the tree. Who's the tree? Me. What's the tree of life? The tree of knowledge and wisdom. Eat the apple, fuckheads. Yeah, that's me. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Yeah, just tree, the tree. Anyways, where everything is grown from the seed, right? Blah, 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 blah. So after you leave the context of your mind, after you put the mind to rest, the body to rest, right? You bring peace to the mind, you bring peace to the body. You are now spirit again. And you will connect with spirits again. Dead peoples, if you will. People of the spirit world. Typically, it should be someone you recognize. Someone that walked this world before you and is here to help you walk through it. Mine are high-level spirit guides. Why? Because I, myself, am the highest in the room next to God. I am Goddess. Okay? Okay. Jesus is a part of God. I am a part of God, but I am Goddess. Okay? Okay. So, in essence, they had a high calling in their lives. And their life's work aligned or could be carried on with my life's work. The same calling to my life that it was to Martin Luther King, that was to Robin Williams, that was to Marilyn Monroe, that was to Abraham Lincoln, that was to Rosa Parks. These callings in our heart that made us stand up in our beliefs for the people that we represented in that time. Michael Jackson, please stand up. Can the real Slim Shady please stand up? That's a calling in your heart to rebel and to be heard in the name of God, to follow this calling, right? Right. So, as I fulfill my calling, those who were called before me shall walk by my side, right? And as I fulfill my calling, I will remind all the world of their teachings as well, and that's the resurrection of the dead. I bring back all of the ancients back into your life, and I teach you how to recognize them in your day-to-day life. And that's where I go back to my very first question. How often in a week do you see or hear, witness the spirit of Tupac Shakur moving through the world? It's still alive. They are still alive. The body was put to rest, but the spirit lives on in all of us, but even those that didn't even know. There are people that are so Christ-like that have never ever even known the teachings of Christ. You have the whole universe in you. You're acting like a Lilith and a Lucifer. Act right. Get some act right in you. That's where all these dirty jokes and shit. These guys didn't fully ascend in the light. They're very juvenile spirits. Old, we all are. I'm the oldest spirit to be. Ass fucking kid. The spirit is youthful. It just becomes wise by experience. And that's where even me, I have to reach for my higher self. Other parts of me that have already experienced lives that can teach me how to get through this life. Because I'm back at the, life number one. The first life. Oh, God. And that's the Lilith. Lilith knows of no things of this world. All of my other lives had mastered this world. Lilith needs to become ascending master Lilith. Like my lower vibrational self got left behind. All my darkness got left behind in these dark goddesses. And I went to the light as the Kanyen and left half of me, half of me down there, and all of the people that represented that half of me, which are the following, the outcasted, the dark, the sinners. So I had to ascend, and that's what we're doing. I am the ascending master, meaning I've done this in other lives. In this life, I shall ascend again, get better at it or something like that. And I teach everyone else the ascension path, which was what they were called to do too. That's the stupid-ass calling. That's what Kobe told you to do, how to master yourself. That's what they all told you how to do, is how to walk in your heart. Never give up on your dreams. You know what I mean? I'm seeing, for real, Robin Williams. He was the expression, of creativity, a divine expression. He was the shapeshifter. He could shapeshift to be anything, pleasing to the world, to bring happiness and light to the world. Michael Jackson could do that with his voice. Pop could inspire the streets. Kobe could inspire the athletes. I'm here to do the work they did. I have a dream. You talk to dead people, that's who started. And people didn't want to believe it until they realized these spirits are really alive and well. And they're probably in your life fucking with you too. Because it's a vibration. Christ is a consciousness. It's a way of being. It's a way of thinking. You know what I mean? You're all in the kingdom of Christ when you're in the, you know what I mean? When your mind is in the place of peace, love, compassion, understanding. You're in your Christed self is what some of these books would call it, or the Christ consciousness. You could sink real low to what they call a devil energy, which is, your darker shades, your 50 shades of darkness, where, the repressed parts of you act up and want to do weird fetishes and act a fool and take your shirt off and, jello shots and butt sex and who else knows what else you're up to. Those are those things that you always wanted to do but you would never do because somebody would curse you. If you don't let that out, you might be trying to logically do these things like fucking Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer was just trying to logically have a relationship that you deemed as defiling and made him a monster. He became a monster trying to hide his love for men. Trying to do it logically. Some shit he saw on TV. This will work. If I do this, I can keep a lover and they'll never leave me. How low will you go? I don't know. What have you been watching on TV? That goes back to pornography. Can you guys stop that, please? Can you stop getting excited to see people do that thing? Because then you have this expectation that people are supposed to do that thing. And that anything less than that doesn't get you excited. You can clear, you can wipe the slate clean. And that's like, celibacy and, detoxing and stuff like that. Go full cold turkey, blue ball it. In the essence, just stop doing it. And later, anything can excite you. And it doesn't have to be so raw and dehumanizing to get you off. You know what I mean? Your tolerance levels will go down. It won't take so much to get you excited. And that's just in life. You're overstimulated. And, mucho, take it easy. Stop rubbing your way. Stop scratching at that. Holy Spirit. They didn't have jokes. That's it too. Who do you hear? Them. Do you really want to know who they are? I just told you. Basically, it all filters through them. Right? They are my spirit guides. They're the first line of defense that are right next to me. And they're supposed to help me see the ways of the world. The stuff I don't see. Until they got me to the light. And then I can see. Whenever I'm in the darkness, they're my guides through the darkness. Right? Which is what? The context of my mind. It's pretty light outside of there. The only thing dark is this stupid mind. The way it'd be thinking about shit. Let's talk about that. My logical mind, right? So this girl kept going to the bathroom like 3 times an hour for I saw her do it so many hours, I finally said something. And she said that she was having a bad period. And my logical mind asked the simplistic question, what's wrong with your vagina? I knew in my heart that she wasn't having a period and this had nothing to do with her vagina. But I just, why did you ask that? I mean, why did you accuse Allie of being gay? My logical mind that's so fucking smart. And that's it too. It's like they'll get this point where they'll want to do an IQ test. And they'll find out I'm the smartest individual in the world. And I'm going to look at him and be like, then how come I'm so dumb? If I'm so smart, then how come I'm so dumb? And the essence is, I have no knowing. I only know, and that's what you're not supposed to know. You're supposed to experience and gain the knowledge. The shit we're going through is shit we never experienced before, and we don't want to know. I don't want to know what happens if I touch that. Touch it. Touch it. You're gonna like it. And it smells funny. That would be them, always making dirty jokes. All the time, pretty much. And that's why I laugh after it comes out. That wasn't me. And I was like, that's not helpful. Oh, God. It's a oneness. There's my spirit connect with, basically theirs first. They're the first, outer layer of this shell. And it's connected to all the spirit of all things. And so, as I'm out there and I'm being a fool, trying to figure out what life is, I have them all day trying to tell me what it is. I'm like, that's not helpful. Then Christ will come in and say, no, this is what it is. What it is just forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing either. Can we go back to the dick pic? Why do you guys have dick pics? Who requested that? Are women asking for that? My logical mind has not figured this out yet. How was I supposed to react? You went crazy. Because I didn't act like other girls? How do they react? Tell me how I was supposed to react when I saw this. I know I acted in my fear, but what was the opposite reaction? What was the proper reaction to the dick pic? I wanted it? Yeah, that came. And then a lot of fear came too. Is this what we're doing here? Why? Did you want me to have that image? Did you know I never had seen that before? Now it's stuck in my head. I saw that Thor part. He's the Hulk in a bathtub, and he's naked. I'm never going to get that image out of my head. I'm all delete, alt, delete. Really, I don't know. And that's my logical mind. Lilith has never been human before. I have never, what the fuck do you want me to, whatever you say, God. And that's why I can't figure this out. My logical mind can't make sense of this. And it drives me crazy trying to figure it out. I have no knowing. And when I try, I just give myself and everyone around me a headache. And that's what I gotta do. Walk through the unknown. What that means is you don't know. And you just gotta be okay not knowing. And sometimes you just really want to figure it out. I just wanted to figure it out, dude. There's nothing wrong with trying to figure it out. But the problem is you can't figure it out. You don't have all the variables. Because you don't know what's real and what's not. Really? Yeah. Alright, let's move on to consorting with the spirits and maybe we'll do an exorcism. Exorcise the demons. Yeah, I'm all powerful outside of the mind. Controlled appearances. Ooh. Should we talk about this? I don't know. Exorcism, winding spirits. Where are we? What are we talking? Are we talking about exorcisms? Oh, God. I see something about Ghostbusters. I'm about to have a laugh. I'm just kind of scrolling the words on the page. I'm like, what are we talking about? Alright, listen to this. You might think that maybe you don't want to mess with compelling spirits at all. It's probably for the best. And that if you just stick to the friendly conjugation, that you'll be better off. Not so fast. You certainly can't stick to friendlier or more egalitarian methods, but that doesn't mean every spirit you reach out will respond in kind. Just like people, some spirits will take advantage of soft approaches. Some spirits will cause trouble just to see what they are made of. They settle down when you establish that you can't be pushed around. Well, I mean, I have to like stand up to them and tell them they're being assholes. They're assholes. They're fucking demons. You call them angels and shit. We're all fucking, we get to wear that as long as we're in the light. We get to pretend like we're earth angels. We know what we are. We know what we are. Anyways, moving on. And that's it. All of a sudden, when you become doing, noble work, you're a noble man. You were dirty and now you're clean. Here comes Nipsey, and now I'm legit. We're too legit to quit. Alright, now in the case of people, if you invite someone over and they start trashing your house, you can call the police. If it's a spirit that you've invited over and they start rampaging through your life, who are you going to call? I know. Ghostbusters! You're going to have to call me. Seriously though, or the Catholic Church, we've already talked about this, you need to be able to have a moderate familiarity with exorcism and binding spirits. Even if you hope to never use it, you still need to have it. Like Teddy says, speak softly and carry a big stick. Oh, I hit my head. I crashed. That was funny. Or maybe a wand or a sword in this case. Ah, that's funny. I may be small, but I carry a big stick. Controlled appearances. I don't really have this problem because of who I am. Why? They bow down. Bow down. Truthfully, nothing's coming against Lilith. Lilith stands up to God. Lilith is the only creature that stands... I mean... And that's the frequency I'm giving off. That's the frequency of my energy. I'm the holy god, the holy goddess. So it's like, make way, the image of God. It's the female image, and you better watch out. So the darkness, you know what I mean, and the light recognizes me. Really? Yeah. And that's why the darkness comes to me and like, let me tell you all my shitty life. Let me tell you all my pain and suffering. Okay. Speak softly and yeah. Controlled appearances. There's another reason that magicians rely upon compelling methods. And it is to do with the orientation of a spirit. I mean, they're shapeshifters. They just come in the form that, you know, is pleasing to your eye. They have to take form that you recognize. Hawk isn't, he's a Holy Spirit, and I just use that as that's the name of that, the last life, and which will be the last life you will know of that spirit. But that spirit had been in other lives and lives and lives and lives and lives. I've been known in all my other lives. You did not know the Lilith. Really? Yeah. And you have long forgotten those before me, or those after me, and we're going to make sure that you know. You're going to learn today! Right, Bernie Mac? Yep. Remember in Chamber 1, where I laid out astral, mental, casual levels to which conscious can be orientated. Alright, we're not in Chapter 1. Where are we at? We're at the end of the book on page 149. What chapter are we in? Sinister shit? No. I don't know. Chapter 9? Compelling conjugations. You shouldn't be conjugating shit. Okay, I said I never did, but then I go back in these books and I see that I did a whole bunch of invocations. They would tell me to do stuff. I'd light candles. I'd have the oils. I'd be burning herbs, and voila! I said I didn't do it, but as I go back, I was like, yeah, I did every book, every page of this magic in every one of these books. I didn't do it to their specification, but I would read something that said, you know, go do this, a spiritual bath, and use these herbs, and light a candle, and look into a mirror, and I was like, I already did all that. That's crazy. Okay, well, let's keep going on. And that's really what it is I would confirm the magic that was being done in those books, and would have done it in a different, similar, but different type way. Really? Uh-huh. You have to watch the videos to see it. So, I mean, in essence, I could have most possibly conjured some shit. And as God says, there's nothing worse than me. What was I bringing in? My higher self. Haha! There's nothing higher than me. I mean, really though, he sits at the highest throne, and I don't know. I look up to him. But, you know, I'm at the bottom of the tree, just in the darkness, so it's not hard to see him shining so brightly at the top of the tree. Who? Christ. Christ Almighty. It doesn't mean that God loves Christ more than you. He sent Christ to suffer to tell you how much he loved you, as he did me and all the other prophets. We gotta suffer for his love for you. Lame. Lame. Anyways, moving on. There's a whole chapter about astral, mental, and casual levels of conscious. Again, this is outside the stable thinking of a logical mind. You guys have mass consciousness. Your brain has been programmed with nothing more than the information it's took in all your years. The basic same studies that by culture, by age, by religion, by fucking all these little boxes that you check when they do the demographics, right? Based on those demographics, we can put them together and know what type of person you are, what you stand for, what kind of belief system and philosophies you live by, what your skin color is, and what the odds are that you're a good person. Really? Yeah, that would be those demographic questions at the end of every fucking application you've ever done. Yeah, we can put you in a box based on the way you think. Now, they try to dig you into, you know, when you get into what they call mental illnesses, like you don't think like everybody else, they try to find another box to put you in. Oh, you must be this kind of mental ill. You're ill because you don't think like us. You have an illness. We can give you a happy pill. It doesn't change. It makes your body act weird, but it doesn't change how you think. It just turns your brain off so you're not thinking properly about anything. And it turns off your feelers. so you don't feel your thoughts. Again, your feelings, you're feeling anxious, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling fucking, you know what I mean, all these feelings, they come from your thoughts. So they send a fucking pill into your brain to turn it off. So you can't think and you can't feel. But it doesn't fix the problem. It just makes you a fucking, you know what I mean? It makes you a limp dick. You have no sex drive. It makes you suicidal when it, you know, if you miss the fucking dose. It makes you weird. It makes you a false version of yourself. And they fucking, you know, they give them out as candies to adults to make them feel better. Nobody wants to feel bad. But you're not working on what makes you feel bad to feel good. You're trying to do something outside of you to make you feel better. Just get rid of what makes you feel bad and you won't feel bad, Dr. Phil. But anyways, it's your conscious, your way of thinking. After you leave the way of thinking, you're in the realm. As soon as I said this, you're in the realm of the spirit. That's where spiritual stuff comes from. When you leave the context of your mind. I also mentioned that many gods, angels, and demons are orientated in some fairly subtle levels, not close to the physical. When you pray or contact them, they often come very subtly. I can't say it. Subtly. And rarely you can point to the specific place that they are coming from. This is different when you use strong invocations or exorcisms. Compelling methods don't just force a spirit to appear. I'm seeing that thing from Constantine where he pulls he pulls it together. He pulls the chalice and blade and he said, "Show yourself." And it was fucking Gabriel. Fucking Gabriel. Sorry. I know it was just a movie, but if you know I felt that, bro. Fucking Gabriel. Running around fucking feeling like the fucking ruler because he gets to execute God's word. Thank you. And then in essence, in that movie, it portrayed it. Gabriel was spiteful and disgusted by humanity. We all were. I'm the only one that acted in it. Me and Lucifer and, well, 2/3 of the angels. Fuck them. Yeah. We started a revolution and everyone came. And now we're trying to get our way back by saving them. We didn't fucking condemn you. We condemned ourselves for not wanting to serve you. All we have to do to get back is serve you. And that's condemning work to us. I'm not a fucking light worker. I didn't sign up for this shit. God made me walk in the light. He's tired of me being the goddess of hell. I will always be the goddess of hell. But I will help them find your light if you leave me alone in the dark. Said I'm over here blinded by his light, all his holy angels and shit. Get on my face. Alright. Truly? Yeah. You know what, guys, this isn't hard. What is wrong with me? I am the only person that left the context of my mind and knows my soul's true essence. Who I was before I took form in this body, how many times I took form, what the fuck he wants me to do in this form, and how this all plays out. Really? You know all that? Yeah. But then I have to put all of that knowing inside of this fucking brain that don't know shit. And try to explain to all of you that don't know shit. But I can show you, they knew. When you pray or contact them, yeah, let's talk about God and all these things. Invocating them, conjuring. It gives several advantages. The biggest benefit that is compelling conjugations are designed to make a spirit appear to the naked eye. Not to finely honed spirit sense, but an ordinary naked eye. That does not mean you would get it on camera, but it means that you would be able to see them in a way that you see a mirage or hallucination. I used a different word. I said it was a holographic projection, and that's what I told you. I could see Pac moving. I could see him plain as day in movement. In the real world, I can see spirits moving through the real world, where it's like they are really in a form. They say that most people can see that around Samhain, around Halloween, is when they can see that. They say the veil is the thinnest during that time, which is Wiccan New Year, right? And it's the dark season. As you approach the dark season, the veil comes down. You don't have to try to see. When you pull this off, the spirit is just there. And that was that Eazy moment. Me and Pac were sitting in my car. I'm sitting in my car. We're always sitting. He's always wherever I am. But in this particular time, he's got his feet up on my dashboard, no shirt, and I'm still having a cigarette, and he's just sitting there, and we're chopping it up. And in front of me, I see Eazy coming down this hill that I'm parked in front of. And I look at him, and I look at Eazy, and then I go to my phone, and I'm like, Marshall, I'm seeing Eazy here. Why is Eazy here? And I put the phone down, and I stare harder at him, and he shows me the imagery of me always singing his words and saying his words throughout all my videos. He shows me that he's always been there. And I'm just like, whoa. Marilyn Monroe, bro. Terrifying. I'm like, I'm seeing her. This happened with Marshall's particularly. Where did she come from? And then she shows me that she was the one singing Happy Birthday, Mr. President to fucking Marshall Mathers. There was literal conversation that was coming through me and her words, scripted from her through me to him. I can look back. He saw it. That was totally her. That was her words. But I didn't know it. Like, where did you guys come from? And that's where they take form. You don't realize they've always been there. Kobe, right? I didn't see the dark night of the soul as Kobe Bryant. I had this vision in my mind's eye, which they say is actually it. Later, we read it in a book. I used to say that, especially on a Friday, here he comes. It was a black horse that would pull up with this rider, and he had no head. He just had a pumpkin head filled with fire, right? The jack-o'-lantern is how I saw it. And I knew when I saw that image that I would be faced with my memories and pain and suffering. As soon as I saw that, now I know, later, I saw that it was Kobe. I put a face on it. Anytime I see Kobe, I know that adversity is coming. So early, I opened my book, and I turned straight to Khalik. Khalik is the female of Kobe, which was me, right? Endurance. I was like, get out of my face, Khalik. Get out of my face, Kobe. Not right now. I can see signs of him, that he's warning me about the storm ahead. That's it. A sign of him is a preparation for what he's taught me. Now, if I was in it like I used to be, and those are in those old videos, they're literally right next to me while I'm going through it. And when I would get stuck in my mind, there would be voices of my twin flames, or something would get me out of there. But all of these videos are about me getting stuck in the dark night of the soul, which is in the fears of my mind. I've painted them over and over. I show you what it looks like in there. I sit in there. I can feel it. It's a cold, dark place, and there's no other spirits around. I know when I'm in my mind, because it's dark, and it's cold, and it's lonely, and there's nobody else there. I call that the dark night of the soul, but now I understand that it's really just the context of your mind. You're going into your mind, as Carl Jung said, and you're going to face your shadows, your demons. It's all in your mind, though. And nobody can go in there with you. But that's what I also said, too, is Pac can make himself known in those moments when I can't find my way out. Meaning what? He'll show himself in the real world. A song will come on, or somebody will say something about Pac, or a t-shirt. Somebody will drive with music on, and I'll know that he's out there, and that I'm in here, and that I just need to get out. I described that quite well yesterday in those videos, and that's why I was like, here comes fucking Wolfman to try to tell you the context of your mind. You've never gone into that sick place, bro. And you can't tell anybody what it is until you go in there and start facing the darkness that's in there. It really is just a dark place. Mom. And things appear. Yeah.
Can you give me a towel?
Yeah, for sure.
I was calling you early because you turned off the light.
I don't know. I don't know anything. Here you go. So outside of your mind is the spirit. I'm all spiritual until I'm in my thoughts about shit. And that's why I was laughing. The message this morning was like, don't overthink it. I can't turn it off. I have to let it just think its way through this. until it has no more thoughts and it's burnt out. And that's where it is I've got to, that's your masculine. What do you do when you're anxious? How do you get rid of this energy? I had to do all those different techniques. I was burning sage. I was listening to music. I was taking baths. I was, doing self-cares. I had to, finally, it's like, I got to walk this off. I have to push it to where, and that's it, to where my body gave out, where I actually got sick. And I just sat down. I was too sick. It just hit me. I was like, I got under this tree and I was like, oh, my stomach hurts. That water. I felt all the liquids in my belly. I felt like I was going to throw up because I didn't eat before I went up there. Then I came down and had McDonald's. I'm not healthy. I'm mental. My spirit is healthy and it keeps my body healthy. In the essence, people think that if they have a healthy life, they're going to have a happy life. That's not true. If you have a happy life, you're going to have a healthy, long life. It's not what you put into it that makes it long and happy. You know what I mean? Just saying that. It's like, health freaks. I want to have a healthy life. Whatever, just have a happy life. Why does it need to be healthy? In the sense of, make it happy and it should be healthy. Alright, going back to your spirits and shit. And how you see them, in the naked eye. This, however, is not necessarily a comfortable position for the spirit to be in. And there are many records of invocations where the spirit is anxious for the congregation to end. Meaning they're unseen and you're making them seen. And then when you're calling a spirit that's not part of your energy, you're bringing them from somewhere into your energy, and they might not like you. They don't resonate with your energy. You're forcing a spirit into your energy that, didn't want to be there. I'm seeing this Harvey Weinstein. Like you invited them in for a massage and they don't want to touch you. Oh God, my spirit guys, you heard the clap? That is so Kobe all the time. Oh God, that was a good joke, bro. Fucking hilarious. I'm gonna fall out of my chair. It wasn't that funny. Then how come I can't fucking breathe? That was great. You brought him in for a massage and they don't want to touch you. The spirit world is so funny, bro. Where does all this creativity come from? Them, bro. They're hilarious. You should be a comedian. I'm not. The shit that comes out of my mouth is hilarious. It's not me, though. That was the funniest shit I've ever heard so far. Oh, God. Confirmation. I'm gonna die, you guys. Stop invocating spirits to give you a massage. They don't want to touch you. Oh, fuck. Okay, as a spirit stuck in the body, I don't want to. What do you? I don't want to be here. Whatever you want, just let me go. Just let me go back to where I came from. I never thought about how fucking sorry that sucks. I'm never gonna recover. Oh, that's like that Steve Harvey vibe, bro. Hey, did you guys see that? Dude, I don't know what happened. I turned that song on and I just saw Steve Harvey all across it. I was like, this is the Steve Harvey vibe. Once you see something, you can't unsee it. And that's just the way you look at it from now on, forever. That'll be the Steve Harvey vibe. Why did they all look like Steve Harvey, dude? It was a glitch in the Matrix. It's a vibe that I only seen on a guy named Steve Harvey. Alright. Holy Spirit, enough. I can't. They said don't make them touch you. Okay. Coming from Michael Jackson, that's hilarious. I'm gonna die. I'm just a channel to the bullshit, bro. Change the channel. I can't. my fucking wiring has me connected to some fucking serious frequencies of love and light. I love it. What is your frequency? The frequency of light. Gosh. Alright, here we go. That was hilarious. I can't. Alright. That was too funny. This level of manifestation does not require much in the way of psychic development or spirit skill. Rather than meeting spirit halfway, you are making the spirit come as close as the physical as possible. I've witnessed operations when I could quite clearly sense the spirit, and others could as well. But the magician kept conjuring and demanding the spirit to appear because he wanted it to be more visible. That's what they're doing at Skinwalker's Ranch. How fucking visible do you want them? They're not invisible to you. You've seen it a million times. Every time you knock on the door, they answer the door. You want them to show up. And then, you want them to dress up as a human or what. And it still doesn't end there. The curiosity will not die until the cat dies. It's like if you can talk to a spirit, then you're just addicted to talking to spirit and you want to go talk to him more and more and more. Right? That's what they're doing at Skinwalker Ranch. They know that they're fucking dealing with aliens, bro. They're not allowed to say aliens because they'll lose their credibility. So they have to use the scientific terms. Whatever. Phenomenon and all this bullshit. And they're positive of it and they're addicted to messing with it. Until it does what? It shows itself. Once you see it, then you're going to have even more questions. Leave it alone. And that goes back to the spirit, guys. You know when there's spirits around you. You can only seem to know them in your quiet spaces. I told you, I sit in the quietness all the time. So I can hear them and see them all the time. You're not in a quiet space. That's all it is an invocation. You can be clearly in your fucking bathroom shaving your face, and you will sense that something's in there with you. You want to sit there and call for it and ask it to show itself? And you want to see how all it can do is show you that in the room, and how scared you'll get when it shows that it's there? You want to demand it, or can you just acknowledge that you feel it? And it could speak to you without showing you. And that's what it is. I felt them way long before I saw them. And again, there was that creepy moment where a dirty joke came in, and I saw who it came from. And after that, I didn't care to see who was speaking with and through me. I knew it was good and it would be okay. That, nobody's possessing my body. They have to go through Pop to talk. You gotta get him to pass you the mic. Good luck with that. Good luck. In the essence. But, that's what it is. It's like, don't push it. That goes back to that girl. I want to communicate with my grandma. Then sit quietly with your grandma and communicate. You want to see your grandma? You want to force her to come back to this world so you can see her? Her messages live on in your heart. It's a conversation in the heart. Truthfully. But I did. It was weeks that I didn't see Pac. I just didn't see him. And I was like, Pac, where are you at? And he's like, I'm right here. You said my words this morning. What are you talking about? It's like, but I can't see you. And he's like, because you're in the light. And I had this huge cry, like we were divided, because I couldn't see him like I used to see him. I could hear him, but I couldn't see him like I used to, all day, every day. Now I still can sometimes. I'll see him, you know what I mean? Especially in bed. I can see him again. Just laid up, fucking on the bed, with his feet up, and I can just say goodnight to him. He doesn't curl up and cuddle me. That's not Pac. He's on his own side. You know what I mean? Or he'll be I could see him again sitting on the fucking toilet while I'm taking a bath. He's just sitting there. He ain't doing nothing. He's not jerking off or nothing weird.
What?
That's what I'm saying. It's just, I couldn't see them like I used to. But I could still hear him. And that was panicking to me. I felt like we were, separated. And it wasn't. I was just in a different place of conscious. He's still there, but he's, he can't be seen there. Can't be seen in heaven. Just kidding. But when I was in spiritual court, I seen him. He was there. That's the only person I saw with me was him. It's just me and him at a table in front of, God's majesty. And that's where it is. It's like, don't force this. They're all around you. They're sending you transmissions. You don't have to see it to believe it. You know what I mean? And the more you believe, the more you will see. They'll make themselves seen. And that's what happened. Why did they start coming? More of them because one knew I could see them. And I couldn't deny it. And I was, they were sent by God, and this was part of it. Any of them that I saw never left. And that's it. It wasn't always such a close relationship with Pac. He had a job to do with me. We became close through the job. And, that's Kobe. We became close through the job. I hated Kobe. Like, Jesus, you're such an asshole. But it became, you know what I mean? Like, I'm his shining star. I gotta look good, dude. Kobe's out there. He's in the fucking crowd. He's watching me, bro. I don't want him to come down after this game and have to have a talk with me. Meanwhile, here comes Pac running through the middle of the game with his fucking shirt off. Thug life! Thug life! Really? Kind of. He breaks through the conscious of my, dark nights and, is that little light. Not very helpful, of course, but it can skip me out of it for a minute. The magician said it's not uncommon for a conjugation to take 2 or 3 hours until the spirit was clearly in the crystal. What are you guys doing? He could sense the spirit's presence just like we could, but to him, the job was not done until something truly paranormal happened. And that's what they're doing at Skinwalker Ranch. They have plenty of evidence, but they want hardcore evidence, which is an actual physical being that they can go and tear apart. Hey, bro, they're not doing that again. Every time you guys see them, you fucking abduct them and do weird shit to them. They're not doing this again. They know exactly what your intentions are to do with their bodies, and they're not going to let you do that to their bodies. In essence, they turned around and did the same thing to us. There's a lot of those fucking videos in the 90s, abducting people in their sleep. Yup. He felt that a spirit was not fully controlled, and therefore not fully safe to talk to, until he could see it in a crystal with ease. Wow, that's creepy as fuck. Going back to crystal work, right? These are spirits inside of a stone. And as you connect that stone to your spirit, you are now carrying the spirit with it. So, for example, these are the spirit of the Lumerians. And it teaches you specifically how to work with shadow work. I have them lined up on the moon cycles. You see this? You see all the moons? As we go through the moon cycles, that's how we channel it. Yes? Yeah, bro. That's what it means to use crystal work. So Reiki takes certain crystals and they align them with your chakras to give you spiritual work. Same thing as yoga. If we put your ass to the sky and put your face down and tell you to breathe real hard, you're going to pass out and have a spiritual experience. They call that meditation. That's not good. Just go for a walk, turn on some music. You know what I mean? Seriously. Go take a bath. Stuff like that. They make it seem like it's so much more, prophetic. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do a lot of ceremonies and rituals. I took all that shit up there to do a burn, and I'm like, if they see all this smoke coming from the top of the mountain, I'm going to have a helicopter over me in a minute. So maybe it wasn't a good thing, but I'm always ready to do that. And the essence is, you send your intentions through, I do, as a fire witch. You know what I mean? The herbs are brought to the temples. You bring your oils and your herbs and your offerings to the gods. And you know what I mean? You offer them to the gods. So I took my offerings, up the mountain, and me as an offering. And I got fried. I was the offering. I offer myself to the gods. Take me. Stuff like that. So there's places like that where it's just about giving your time and energy and some offerings to tradition. Is what a magical ceremony really looks like. You know what I mean? It's like, you're burning the proper oils to, I wouldn't say invocate fucking Jesus, but you know what I mean? Bring more Jesus, or, hey, can you turn down Joe Bart? Bring more Jesus into your life, or just the knowledge of it. And that's that Christmas. If you guys turned on Christmas music in the middle of the year, like we have been known to do, you bring a Christmas vibe. Right? So that's what it is. In a lot of the ceremonies I do, I'm bringing the vibe that's true to them. Their herbs, their food offerings, their way of life, doing the baptisms and the traditional ways that they would honor the gods is what I do. But it's not like, It looks very ceremonial just because it's traditional, but it's more like, let me just get up here real quick and burn this shit and, you know, have a powwow and get out of here. You know what I mean? Let me give my, you know, tithe myself. Let me give myself to God as He asks. These sacrifices of my time, my energy, and my resources. Let me show Him how important He is, and that alone is, you know, pleasing to Him. And that could be your full moon ceremonies. That could be your holiday events. That could be just time where, you know, you sit at the graveyard or in your Bible. Devotional time with yourself is devotional time with God, because yourself is connected to God. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily about being religious, but traditional ways that your family has always honored themselves and their God. You know, like confirmation. Natives always go a certain direction, you know, when they're trying to honor their dead. There's religious, you know, rites and traditions, and just like, you know, on Fridays we always get together and have a carne asada. That's what your family and your culture does, and it turns up the vibe, and you don't want to, you know, you're going to bring that vibe, keep that vibe. That's ceremonial, you know what I mean? That's cultural, that's ritual, you know what I mean? Traditions to your family and shit. Simple stuff like that. I just want to point that out, is like, this guy's trying to capture a spirit and put it in a stone, where all of the stones are already filled with all of the spirits of the universe, if you know which stones to use, right? So that's a whole nother teaching upon itself, because again, that goes back to God made the universe, and then He made the earth, and He put all forms of the universe into the earth, which are literally the stones. All of the dirt, right? It's in the dirt. And in the trees, because the trees and all the animals eat and feed off of it. They all they have the powers of the universe inside of them, right? The only thing that keeps us disconnected from all that is the brain, the conscious that we work through. Animals don't think like we do. They're connected to a larger, you know, to the oneness. That's how they know where to go to mate, how to find food, where to hide, stuff like that. Those primordial instincts. You know what I mean? They go by their feelings, not their knowings, but their feelings. They don't have the context of the mind, so they're still a holy soul, just in you know, an animal, a tree, a water, whatever, a mineral form. It's still spirit. There's a spirit in everything. Lilith and Adam are created of the dirt, which is the universe, and that's what it is. You have the whole universe inside of you, created in your DNA. But you don't tap into your universal DNA because you're only working through your mind, the context of your mind. Okay, and don't be trapping spirits in anything. The whole point is to leave this life and be free of the context of this mind and this reality, to be a free spirit. It's not wrong to talk to the spirits, but it is wrong to trap them in a little box, you know, to catch a phoenix and then just sit there and wait for it to, you know, burn up and, you know, just for it to die and have to be, you know, relive. We're not trapping spirits. As a trapped spirit here, I protest this 100%. But this is what this guy wanted to do. So I am cited it here for your information. You choose how to proceed. I'm not doing that. Exorcisms and invocations take a lot of effort. There's not just incitation or recitations of calls and conjugations, but explaining what? Escaping? I don't know. Passions, you repeat your demands again and again. You're demanding the spirit do something. Your approach is all wrong. The powers of God or gods by which you are invoking the spirit fill you up and spill over as you invoke. Whether your voice gets louder or more passionate, or lower and more focused, more than just words passing through your lips. You are standing in a pathway of power and becoming part of a machinery of gods. Okay. I see how the power of Christ compels you. You're calling into something outside of you to give you the power to fight the unseen. And this is where everybody goes quiet. I'm goddess. I don't need Jesus to fight my battles. I need Jesus to help me become soft. to be forgiving, understanding, compassionate, and kind. The spirit knows my name, and especially if it's a dark spirit. I don't need to invoke Jesus to fight this spirit. I don't need to recite words and incantations of man to invoke the Spirit of God to fight this spirit. I am Goddess, and I will call the spirit home to me. I will not cast it out of that person. I will call it into me, because I am the home of the universe, and I will call it home. God will decide what to do with the spirit once it's been placed. And I'm not casting it out, I'm calling it home. The spirit of all things, your mind may not know, but your heart feels completely safe with me. Your mind can't make words of it and doesn't understand it and tells you I'm all these things that it saw on TV. But your heart knows that I am the Spirit of God. And that I carry God with me and all the other spirits. Those that are possessed by spirits are not in their mind. There is a spirit that's overtaken their mind. That spirit knows who I am. I don't have to fight with this person's mind when I walk in and tell that spirit that I am the Lilith. I am the goddess of hell, and I call you home. Leave that body and come with me. You may take form in my body. And what happens when it gets there? It meets God. In the essence, it already knows. It already sees me not in the body, but in the spirit. Real recognizes real. Meaning you see a person going crazy in their mind. I see a light spirit and a dark spirit inside of a person. I don't see any of the mind working right now. This has nothing to do with the context of this mind. They are not in their mind. That's what we know right away. What do you see when you look at Britney Spears? Is she there? Is Britney still in there? Yes, you can hear her when she speaks. You can hear the child inside of her. The demon hasn't taken over to where you can hear it speaking. It would speak in different languages, and it would speak darkly. There's a dark entity inside of there with her. And they coexist together. But in essence, that spirit has all control. That's where it's like, you could kind of say that the Lilith overtook Lisa's body, and Lisa is no more, and now it's just a home to the spirits. But Lisa wasn't anything to begin with, but the conscious mind. You name the body. It's like naming a car. It's a car, but you said it's this kind of car. It's just a car. But now this is a Shelby. This is a Cadillac. This is a Pontiac. This is a fucking, you know, all of them. This is a Phantom. This is that. They're all cars. They all do the same thing. Some of them look different on the outside, but they all have the same mechanisms that make them move on the inside. And then you have hybrids, where they've taken technology and they've mixed it with the basic mechanics. And that's kind of what we're doing. We're taking the basic mechanics of what this vehicle is, which is our body, and the brain it has, the typical brain that everyone has. Everyone's given a brain. And we fill it up with information and then we go, right? That's that 12 years of school. Fill it up with information and now you're ready to go. You're ready to hit the road. Alright, so what we're doing is we're taking all of the parts apart, you know, the carburetor, the fucking exhaust, the fucking fuel injection, we're taking the power steering, we're taking every piece of this apart, which is the brain, and we're putting new information, high vibrational, you know, high dimensional hybrid information, and we're running off of electricity now. We're not running off of just fear. We're putting electricity to this shit. Right? That's the evolution. And they want to show you, you know what I mean, the mechanics of the body. And that's where it is too. It's like, what are they doing? They're putting in new body parts. People have their own boobs now. You can buy boobs. You don't have to go with what God gave you. You can put in a new body part. You don't have to live in the car that God gave you. You don't have to be the car that God gave you. You can find ways to express yourself through this vehicle. You could put bumper stickers on it. Puck, stop it! What is that? 3 weeks ago, he said, in reference to fucking Wolfman. Wolfman said he was going to get a tattoo on his back of the calabastic tree of life. And Puck made all these jokes, and he said, first off, that's what you call a bumper sticker. He said men are putting on tattoos to show off for other men. They're trying to beautify their bodies to show off to other men. Men don't get tattoos to show off to women. They do it to flex on other men in gyms and at beaches. They take off their shirt and show you, try to show you their tattoos. And I was like, you're hilarious, Puck. He called it bumper stickers. And again, this guy has nothing to do with the calabastic tree of life. But he wants to fucking put a bumper sticker on his ass and be like, look at how cool I look. Where? At the gym? Who's looking at this? Are you going to teach women how to ride your back? There's a whole lot of gay shit going on. These guys and their jokes. Anyways, yeah. And that's the other book. I'm not even getting to it. It's standing next to me. How to Clear a Distant Spirit-Possessed Person. Alright, in every shifting gears from this level of passionate activity to skillness and receptivity requires for clairvoyance. Is that clairvoyance? Yeah, clairvoyance can be an utmost impossible trick to pull off. Yet another reason for the spirit to be pulled as near as to the physical as possible. It is also a reason that many magicians use seers to communicate with the spirit rather than try to do it all themselves. What am I? A seer, sage, mystic, fucking medium, psychic, yogi, guru, evangelist, a witch. A magician understands the elements and uses them to create in this world. He's not the high priestess. We learned that in our teaching last night. I did one last teaching last night. The high priestess is part of the spirit world. Anytime these ghost hunters go in, they always bring a psychic or a medium in with them because they can see what they can't. They can sense it. They bring them in and say, is this house haunted? Yeah, there's something in here. What does it feel like? It feels like it's a child. It feels bad. I can't see it. Some of them can. They can see it right away, but they can sense it. We're called seers because we see what you can't. They call that a sage, a mystic, a medium. Oscar, the fucking tarot reader, is a tarot reader. You don't speak with deities, and you doing all that is going to get you fucked up. In essence, that's where he met me. He was doing invocations and prayers to the dark goddess, and he found her. Actually, he was fucking with Lucifer, and there's nothing darker than, you can't meet Lucifer without his wife, and all the rest of the fucking family. And that's how you got caught in the twin flame journey. Welcome to the family. Sit down and shut the fuck up. Fucking Kanye West. Who's that? Fucking Osiris. They're all reliving bullshit. Bastards. Wake up to your spirit and get to the spiritual work. Quit trying to fucking be the biggest brain in the room. Ugh, there's fucking Russ. Nobody can be more brain dead than this guy. Shifting gears from this level, It's also the reason that magicians, use seers to communicate. John Dee had Edward Kelly. Aleister Crowley had Victor Newberg. Humphrey Gilbert had John Davis. Jack Patterson had Frater X. Those are just famous examples because it can be difficult to manage the rigors of a conjuration into a near physical appearance and still be receptive, though receptive enough to see the spirit. Many text calls for a seer as well as an exorcist. In other words, someone to pass the message between you and the spirit so that you are free to perform the conjuration and exorcism. I am both. In the essence, what's your power? You're just here to fuck with them? How about don't fuck with the spirit realm? Apart from having someone dedicated to seeing, there are other advantages to a two-person conjuration. It's as true for conjugation as it is for a hike in the mountains. A buddy system enhances safety. And that's it. It's like, why do you always tell people? Because I got to tell somebody where I am if something was to happen. I go into those mountains and I get lost in my memories and in my fears. I'm not a very healthy person. There are animals and nobody knows I'm out there. And I just keep going. I have to tell people where, before I ever go out to do something, somebody knows where I was going before I left. And that's it. Send a text. Let us know that you're okay. You know what I mean? And that's it. Whenever you step out, you got to make sure that somebody knows where you are. It's just good as a woman, bro. You know what I mean? Just as a woman. And now they have, they're tracking you on your GPS type shit. Dangers are real, and in some cases, it's not that spirits are out to get you because they are bad. It's that you are approaching them forcefully in this kind of conjugation, and that approach has many risks as it has rewards. In other cases, yes, the spirit may just like to cause a ruckus or even harm if they can. Sadly, people can be like that too. If the seer starts to display signs of psychic attack, you can exorcise the spirit and shut it down. If the magician starts to weaken or display signs of attack, the seer can notify the magician that they may be under attack. So what do you choose for this kind of work? Traditional texts written a few hundred years ago often call for a young boy to be the seer, much in the way that the Mass calls for an altar boy. Sacrifice the kid, huh? Suffice to say, I think it's a bad idea to bring kids into the kind of ritual, no matter what the Grimoire says. That's what I said. I don't think you should be sacrificing kids. I will go on record and say that you should never invoke kids in this kind of ritual. Please work with adults. As I said that, bro, there was a time where we were getting Mermaid Profiteers and some of these other dark readers were getting messages about people using their kids during ritual work and as practice. They were using their animals and their children. Why? Because they see them as spirits. When you know that everything is spirit, you know what I mean, and you're out there manipulating the spirit to get what you want. It's you could say it's a sick sense, it's a sick detachment, but they're utilizing the power of their child. Who? Oh God. Russ, his mom, she's done all of that. She's done all kinds of ritual work using him and his energy. She knew he was a chosen one. My family did it too. Chosen, you know what I mean? You can see, and that's why they said a young boy. You can see, like my son, you can see that he's tapped into the spiritual world. You can see they're different. They can see things. They know things. They're connected to something outside of this world. And then you take them to certain people, and these people tap into your kids and start using their start raping your kids of their spiritual gifts before they've developed them. Really? Uh-huh. Yeah. I was fully awoken. I called myself Lily when I was a little girl. I always talked with the spirits. They could see me. I could always know what was happening. I always carried the light. I was always special. Many people, blinded and tried to do work off of that. But it didn't take away from me. They damned themselves. Anyways, it may be tempting to pick someone who tells you that they are very psychically receptive, but you should be careful here as well. Remember the lessons on discernment. Someone who sees visions every time they pray is prone to receiving surface-level gobble. That person may not take kindly to putting aside easy visions in favor of deep probing and tossing things out that are not informative or auctionable. I'm seeing that stupid teacher from Harry Potter, where they brought him in as the dark arts teacher because he had wrote all these books about fighting the dark arts. And he's like, they were books. And what really happened is, you know, if anybody found out, he would just take away their memory and he could walk on pretending like he was all powerful. But he really couldn't fight darkness. He just wrote about it. And that's so fucking Russ over there. He's never fought any darkness. He just writes about it. My advice is to avoid the people who claim to be widely psychic and hunt instead for those who are stable and discerning. And that's it too. All these tarot readers swear they're fucking psychic and that they have a connection with spirit and they're fucking chosen ones and they're witches. Would you take them to a fucking exorcism? Would you take Wolfman and his cards? Fucking magnetize yourself and her cards? You know what I mean? Fucking Empress Ava Tarot and her cards. These chosen ones, these divine spirits, these divine feminines and masculines. You're going to take their divine spirit to go cast out demons? Shut up. You have no psychic connection. None. You read the cards, get out of the way, and just deliver the message for those of us that have the eyes to see. You don't want to pick someone who decidedly unpsychic and who has problems seeing anything. If you're going to bother with a compelling congregation that drags a spirit kicking and screaming close to our physical orientation, you don't really need the most psychic person ever. You just need someone who has some similar view to yours, who has a small amount of psychic ability and who is truly trustworthy. Don't skimp on that last quality. A seer is in a position to tell you whatever they want to tell you and can easily take advantage of that. And that's what she did. You know, Russ's mom goes around telling everyone she's an intuitive life coach. She tells people, and that's what these card readers do. They tell you how they have a divine connection to spirit and ancestors and all that is through divination of these cards. I'm going to finish up the last 4 cards of this entire deck, and it's going to be a series for you to learn the cards yourself and know that they're not talking to shit. They're talking to their imagination. Edward Kelly told John D. that the spirit suggested they swap wives. Was that really the angel or just Edward, who was known to be somewhat unscrupulous, cheap to begin with? That's it. Jesus said no such thing. Jesus said no such thing. It's that simple. They try to tell you that the spirit said that. Jesus said no such thing. Archangel Michael stands for no such thing. God isn't that way. There's no such thing as a devil other than the demons of your own creation in your mind. These are no such things. Oh, but they'll sure tell you. And that's those love readings. They're lying to you, bro. Oh, this person, they're going to contact you, and they miss you, and they're getting better, and they've seen the ways. I'm seeing, I'm going to tag all these motherfucking bitches on this one. What's her name? Spiritual Illusion 111. 3 days a week for at least 3 years since I've known this person. She keeps telling people that they're going to come back together with somebody. The spirit said no such thing. It was the spirit that pulled you apart. God's not bringing you back together. He's telling you to move on. He pulled for a reason. People are lying to you, bro. In the name of God. In the name of spirituality, you are being lied to. There are false prophets, and they have a... Ooh, is there a special place in hell for them motherfuckers? I will see you when you get there. I'm that bitch that be laughing in your face. Wonder why I call you bitch. You fucking liar. You thief. You cheat. In the name of God? Bitch. So if the spirit is speaking through a seer, it is another level of skepticism you should be mindful of. In the end, whether you work with a seer is up to you. I have worked with a seer in the past and prefer to work alone. Because you ain't met me. Wait till you see what I see. In the essence, I think you'll see them. I think you'll see them around me. I think my light reflects to where you can see beyond the veil. Because I am the gatekeeper. Really? I'm pretty sure, bro. I say it all the time. If you come near me, you're going to feel them. And you're probably going to see them. What? Well, I thought about that yesterday. It came up in my reading. A simple polygraph test puts this all to rest. It's a lie detector, right?
Oh, the ones that police make you sit on.
Yeah. That's what it all comes down to, a lie detector. And that's why I said you weren't in the room. All I have to do is a lie detector. Are you Lilith? Yes. Do you talk to God? Yes. You know what I mean? What else do you want to know? Do you talk to aliens? Yes. Do you see dead people? Yes. According to your science and your logic, is when they do that test and I pass, then you can leave me alone and stop questioning me. And that's it. When you said that, if another person claims to be Lilith reincarnated, lie detector. In essence, I can prove they're wrong because they're not right. There's no one else but me. Enough. Let me finish. I have, from time to time, had a god or spirit tell me that they wanted to show me a seal that I could not perceive or record on a record on my own, in which case I bring in a artist seer, such as Matthew Brownlee, who recorded the lightning glyphs of Jupiter and planetary seals that I use in my work. Do you really want me to keep going? No, we're stopping there. What is this all about? Spirit, bro. That's what I talked about. That's where we started. That's where we were before I went into the dark night of the soul. I was talking about my spirit guides. It was Pac's birthday. We were all, celebrating. And then I got all fucked up on Pac's birthday and ended up in the dark night of the soul. Fucking around with Pac, you're going to end up in the dark. I mean, honestly. And that's it. And then I come out, and then they are. Till the day I die? Yup. But that's just them right next to me. And all of the spirit is still there. And, so I'm teaching you about the spirit realm, which is right outside of the context of your mind. I have to prepare you for what comes next. I'm teaching you how to work through your mind, but what happens next is the spirit world. Dead people. Mediumship. Spirits, bro. Spirits. They're going to come and speak with you. Once you become a spirit, the spirits will come to you. Good and bad. To guide you. The bad spirits, again, they're not bad. They're there to liberate and free you. What lives inside of Britney Spears is not dangerous to Britney Spears, but it will be dangerous to you if you try to hurt Britney Spears. It cares about Britney Spears. It lives with her. It is part of her. And she has now become part of it. Alright? It's only going to leave Britney Spears if it's going to go to a better home than Britney Spears. Who doesn't want to be Britney Spears? A spirit is in there with her, enjoying her life. More than she is, I might say. That spirit, the only way we're going to get that spirit to get out of there, there's not a better place for it to be than home. And that's it. You've had a good life here. You must leave her now and come home. You will be welcomed into the light. And that's where the spirit will leave her body and come into mine. And what's in mine? The universe. It's going to get sucked up into the universe. Call it Ghostbusters. Like, you're weird. Everything outside of the context of your mind is very weird. But just because your mind can't understand it doesn't mean it's not real. All of these books and teachings are to show you the unreal. To make the unseen real for you. And with that, I gotta really get on with my life. I love you guys. This is a good teaching. I have one more in me that's going to come later. We're going to finish up the tarot. I'm going to label that The Way to Enlightenment Using Tarot. I know you want to steal that, but you can't show people how to become enlightened tarot because you haven't figured it out yourself. Wolfman and the rest of you tarot readers. I'm going to have to remember you all to tag you in this. You guys annoy me. All glory to God. Hey, I love you guys. Laters. Bye-bye. Don't be fucking with the spirits.